Did you guys see Hiller's rewrite of the workouts?
Yeah, I don't want to fucking shit on Hiller, but if we bring it up, I'm going to absolutely rape him.
Don't worry, Taylor. I'm going to take it from here. Clay here from Old Guy Inc. We're going to talk a little bit about the easiest thing in CrossFit. And what's that? It's critiquing somebody else's programming. Okay? So, what I have up here is fake scribble lines, pretending that I have all of this programming up here that I'm about to go through and talk about how much better I could do it. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about what goes into programming, okay? And I'm sure most of you know, but I felt like using a little ChatGPT. Here's what I came up with. That there's approximately 150, because ChatGPT don't lie, right? 150 to 200 movements that CrossFit generally, commonly can use and can draw from. So anytime that someone's gonna sit down and do some programming, when you have a blank whiteboard, okay, this is not an easy task. I have programmed for over 20 competitions, okay? One of them was way back with the 2010 CrossFit Sanctionals, and I've programmed for state championships, large events with hundreds of athletes. Doesn't mean I'm a good programmer, just means I have a little experience and I know that programming is hard. And it takes a lot of time when you're starting with a blank slate, okay? Because this is where you're starting with. First of all, you got 150 to 200 movements to choose from. Let's go through those real quick according to ChatGPT. So you've got about 50 to 70 weightlifting or strength movements or exercises, like your squats, your presses, your Oli lifts. We could go on and on and on. Then you have about 50 to 80 gymnastics movements, okay? So like body weight, kipping type stuff, double unders, holds, rope climbs. We could go on and on and on. Once again, a lot of variation, a lot of creativity. You got to think outside the box. Then we have about 20 to 30 mono-structural movements, running, swimming, all that sort of stuff, machines, but a lot of variety can go into that as well. And then about 30 to 40 odd objects, like carries, stones, sandbags, yokes, etc., etc. Now, according to ChatGPT, this is 150 to 200 known movements. However, we all know with CrossFit, there's some known and sometimes there's some unknown. Okay, I know we're getting a little bit away from that, but what we're getting at here is there's a lot of movements to choose from. So for starters, when you sit down and set out a programming, and once again, you have a blank slate, you're not looking at somebody else's outline, okay, which is a great start. You have to start from scratch and decide your goals, your time domains, your equipment, your layout, your space, your heats, your timing, how many workouts you're gonna have, how many days is the competition, rest, etc., 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 right? Judging, viewing, angles, videotaping. I mean, I could go on and on and on. This is not an easy thing to do. And normally it's not something that a lot of other people are privy to. So when they look at your programming, something that they think they might not do, they might not understand that the reason you did that is because of limitations you had in your facility, equipment, judging, time, weather, whatever it was. There could be reasons you chose to do something that wasn't maybe your number one choice, but it worked best in the overall big picture with all the information that you had that nobody else ever has when they're critiquing your programming, okay? So this is really easy. When you have somebody else's workouts, okay, and the reason I have scribble lines here is because it doesn't really matter what the workouts are. When somebody else has already done all the hard work and they've come up with a template, now you don't have to really worry about all of these movements. All you have to do is go in and go, okay, I'm going to take a look at this workout. It's 4 rounds. I don't really like that, so I'm going to go ahead and make it 3 rounds. Okay, we have some monostructural. There's some running, but based on the programming, I think it's too much running. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that actually into some sprints instead of a long run. And I don't like the time domain. This is 15 minutes, but I think it should be 12. So I'm going to go ahead and change that workout. Okay, check. Workout number 1 is now better. Okay, I'm gonna come down here to workout number 2, and I realized, oh man, workout 2 is super heavy, but so was number 6. 6 was heavy too, so we're doing too much strength, it's too heavy. So I'm gonna change the weight and the rep scheme of this workout here in number 2. That's gonna make that one a lot better. So check, now workout number 2 is good. Now number 3, it's really heavy in gymnastics. We also had some gymnastics in number 1, so I don't really like that. So I'm gonna change that to something else. I think we should test a different component. I'm gonna change that, okay, check. Now number 4, I just don't like workout number 4 and kind of the order of where it is. So I'm gonna take number 4 because I think it would be better if we made that the second workout. So that would be great, right? All right, then I'm gonna go down here to number 6 and I'm like, oh man, there's a ski erg in there again. Shoot, that's too many machines. We've already used machines. It's too much power output. So we definitely got to take that machine out. I don't like that, so I'm going to replace that with something else. So, okay, all of a sudden now that's good. So I'm going to go back and take a look at this whole thing. And then I realize, oh shit, you know what? This is too long because all of these other workouts were too long. We need something that's a little shorter. I don't like the time domain they picked. So I like the workout. Not going to change the workout. I'm just going to change the time domain so that it seems to be a little bit more of a better test for me. So we're doing this. So now the order's right. So awesome. Now we've got some good programming. It's very easy to go in and nitpick somebody else's programming after they've done it and just make changes and decide how you think it would work better. Once again, without all of the behind the scenes information. The truth of the matter is, in CrossFit, there's way too many people who think that there's rules. Okay, there are no specific rules. Like, well, you can only use X amount of machines. That's a preference. You can't use the same machine twice. You shouldn't do the same movement twice. There's too much squatting. There's not enough squatting. There's too much running. There's too much gymnastics. Like, everybody has an opinion, but it's very easy to have an opinion on somebody else's programming. You have to be smart enough to understand that whatever programming you go in and change, you show that to another couple programmers and they're gonna look at your critiques of the first program. Now you've made your version because you've made it better. You show it to another group of programmers, they write it on the board and they're gonna go through and they're gonna nitpick and find out how it's different, okay? So critiquing other people's programming is really a slippery slope, okay? It just makes you seem like you know what you're doing and you know best, when really what it makes me see is that you have a lot of information that you don't know. You don't know their limitations, you don't know their equipment, you don't know their timing, their schedule, all the other things that go into why or why not they may be doing something more than you want or less than you want or not the way you want it. So, I'm not calling out anybody in particular. I'm just saying there's a lot of program critiquing going on the internet, and I guess it's fun. It's a little fun to just say, oh, I wonder what this person would do. I wonder how this person would change it. But just understand you are backseat driving, right? That's just the way it works. Everybody looks to something and thinks they can do it better. And just because you have experience programming doesn't mean that your ideas are better. They're just different. So get over yourself. Just enjoy that programming is different. Critique it. I guess it gets views. However, come on.
Like, the more you love something, the more love you get.
I think most people are doing the best they can. It's hard to do, but it's easy to critique.